rate, but nationally you see sort of the quarterback free agency class for guys who haven't gotten a starting job after 3 years or so or looking to move on. Has that changed the way that you have to recruit, that it's probably smarter to have 4 or 5 guys kind of in a line because there's a decent chance 1 or 2 of them might not stick around?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. You gotta try to get at least 1 quarterback in each class. I mean, you want to have a good 5 or 6 guys in your in your room. And so if you can stagger them, then yeah, I would say that's probably the best way to do it, and have 1 each year. And that way, they have an opportunity to grow and progress and learn from each other and so on and so forth. But I wish it was that easy. It's so hard to do that each and every year. And then obviously, since we're losing Deshaun and Nick Schuessler, we needed to sign 2 in this class so that we have 5 in our room. And so it's almost unheard of to have 4. And a lot of teams have 6, maybe even 7 scholarship guys in their room. So yes, it's difficult to keep that track every time, but that's what you'd like to do.
Two-part question. Number one, what does it say about the program or the current state of the program that you can get in on Travis Etienne in December and go into LSU's backyard and grab him with about a month of recruiting, and then how big was it to add a 4th scholarship running back with Dye transferring?
Yeah. Well, your first question, you guys might get sick of hearing this, but you get a kid on our campus and get them around Coach Sweeney and our staff, and not just our coaching staff, but our support staff. I mean, Travis never has been on our campus before, never been to a game. And so you can that just is proof the impact that the culture is for these families when they come in here, and for the people that are here that surround this program. Same thing last year. We had a couple of DBs that we got late. Very similar situation. And not that we want that to happen and you want to recruit them at the last minute, but obviously we have our guys that that we feel that are still out there that haven't made a decision yet, that we feel could be a great fit, and so we go get those guys. And unfortunately, it was so late, but like I said, they get here and they spend a whole weekend with you. They see what this is about. You can feel it. You can feel it when they get here and sense it that they're a perfect fit. And then, it was very important. We had to get a running back. We had to get a running back for this class to get our 4th guy. But we have a stable of running backs in there that are all very, very good players. But you always want to have 4 or 5 in that room. So very important that we got that done.
Who are some of the guys in this year's class who you think can really make an immediate impact this year?
Oh, great question. Looking down the list here, there's so much talent in this class, and we're just so excited about seeing some of these mid-years grow in the spring, and then also obviously you have the preseason camp. Just on offense, you got guys like, T. Higgins, comes to mind, just because I was able to work with him and the quarterbacks in camp, and he's a special talent. Amari's another great talent. Obviously, the 2 quarterbacks, since the job is open right now, I think that, they're both, the 2 new guys are both going to have an opportunity. So hard to say exactly who's going to be that guy, but there's definitely a variety. I didn't answer your question specifically, but that's hard because there's so much talent and so many guys that have an opportunity. Sometimes it's harder for the linemen to come in and play right away, although we saw Mitch Hyatt do it, and Pollard do it. That's hard to do. Sometimes the skill guys develop a little bit quicker than them and are able to. The skill guys can maybe make that transition a little bit cleaner than some of the bigger guys.
Coach, you mentioned the competition in the ACC a moment ago. Really the last few years, the ACC has been one of the strongest conferences in football, but especially coming off this last bowl season, a lot of people saying it was the #1 football conference. How much of an impact does that have on recruiting, especially now that you're going into the homes of 2018, 2019?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. we get stats all the time on just the ACC in comparison to other conferences, and so we utilize that a lot, whether we're in somebody's home or at their school, and when they come here on campus. It's important. It's important to, sometimes we all have had in the last handful of years, you always hear about the SEC, and when you look at the stats, it's eye-opening for a lot of people, for me, included. And so I think it's very important that we lay down the facts to these guys so that they hear the facts and they can make a right decision.
Brandon, you seem to be pleased with the fact that it was wrapped up early, but did a little bit of you kind of miss the anticipation that comes with getting one or two guys on the signing day?
No, not really. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit more of excitement, I guess, when you have the situation like we had last year with Gary, but I'll tell you, it's very comforting when you know who you're going to get, and you know that they are committed in a solid way. And so, yeah, I mean, you might get a little bit more glitz and glamour from another place that's having all those last-second signings, but I'd much rather be in a situation where we know exactly who we're going to get and feel great about it and not have to worry about it.
Brandon, as a player and as an assistant coach, you've been in all kinds of quarterback situations. Could you see a situation or a scenario where purposely you would want to have two quarterbacks, or do you very much want to get that one guy?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think that obviously Coach Sweeney will be able to answer that maybe better than I would, but in my opinion, I think if a guy deserves to play and has earned the right to be a guy that can play and has battled with somebody else, that's definitely not out of the question. There's definitely a thought process for us as coaches as if they have proven it in practice and in scrimmages and in a game, and they deserve to at least push the guy or play equally with another guy, then we definitely would be open-minded for that.
As you move forward to recruiting future classes, what are the biggest ways in which this new facility is going to help you in that process?
Yeah, you just get them over here and get them on campus and just as early as you can get them on campus so that they can see it. We talked earlier just about how early this process is. And so the earlier we can get them on campus as an unofficial visitor and show them this place, that allows them to go other places and realize it's hard to beat what we have here. And, in this facility, I honestly don't know what else you could want. And it fits, it checks so many boxes. You want a haircut, you go downstairs and get a haircut. You want to go bowling, you go bowling. You go on a golf simulator to play any golf course in the whole world and go play it downstairs. So, I mean, there's so many positives. It's exciting. And you can see the kids light up whenever they do, come into this facility and see it. And then, it's very important for me to say that the facilities are like the icing on the cake because they're around us and they're around the people here. And that's what kind of gets them. And then you got the facilities to show them on top of that. It's hard to beat. I scratch my head sometimes and whenever we might not get a guy and they've been here and they know what we're about, you wonder what in the world are they thinking? But that's just how it works sometimes.
You had to have quarterbacks, what would you say would be second?
What's that?
But you had to have quarterbacks this year. What do you think your second need was?
I would say tight ends, just being able to, now we didn't get one this year because we have plenty, but that's going to be a question mark going into this year is who's going to be the guy. There's going to be multiple guys, but we lose Jordan Leggett, and obviously he was an impactful player. So this spring will be huge for some of those other guys that got some playing time this year, and just being able to continue to grow and mature and make sure that we have the right fit at that position.